Man, I've got a lot of stuff.
That is a lot of Mate, how have you fitted all your shit in?
That is just, all my stuff is literally just on that side. Morning, day one. Well, day one, it's not actually day one, race one. It's day one of waking up here. Anyway, you can probably see I'm in the same clothes. It's because the staff didn't come up yesterday. I thought wrong, obviously, but they're coming today instead. Or at least I hope, anyway, because we won't be racing tomorrow. But it is the first day waking up here, and it's very windy and it's raining quite a bit. Actually, it's not raining, but it probably will at some point. It looks very mean over there, but we have our first sight of an organisation vehicle. Look how small that is. It's a Skoda car. Yeah, well, obviously it's a Skoda car. I mean, it's a Skoda official Tour Britain car. So, yeah. Go away, weather. We want sun.
Yeah, I know, but most of them are the same. Ben Hardy.
They were on the sofa, but do you want to throw some words down on mic?
Where? Carolyn's got it.
Morning, Ed. How are you today?
Looking the part, boys.
At least we look the part. Which one's mine? Oh, look at this.
Let's get on.
Got all this space on this bag. Yeah.
So ladies and gentlemen, please give a nice warm welcome to a team in their first year of racing in this form. It is the team of SwiftCarbon Pro Cycling. From Great Britain, they all are from Great Britain. We've got some great riders on this squad, and the senior member of the team, again riding the road just 7 days ago down in Lincolnshire, the Born Cycling Classic. He's the only rider, not only British rider, but as far as I know, the only rider in Tour of Britain history, in our 16 years of the most recent incarnation of Tour of Britain, to win both the sprint and the King of the Mountains jersey in the same year. He did that back in 2015, also won the sprint in 2012 as well, from Sandport in Lancashire. Please welcome Peter.
Good evening, everyone. It's the end of stage 2. Another pretty straightforward day, to be honest. Full of uneventful things. Well, I say that the last 40k were pretty eventful. We ended up having a bit of a panic to get to the front on the very last climb. The penultimate climb, I think we descended off it and Van der Poel attacked, and that caused a bit of a reaction. And then we hit the final climb, which was like maybe 15-20k from the finish. It was all downhill pretty much from that final climb, and I was like not in a great position coming into it, if I'm being truthful, but I managed to find my way to the front group, which made it over the top of that climb, and I was there then for a GC guy, in case anything should happen. Maybe if you had a puncture and I could swap wheels with him, anything really. We're at this hotel for like 2 nights, which is brilliant. Like that's one of the things like when you do a stage race you wish for. Ooh. Nice hotel room. Nice view. Woo. Well, it's kind of a nice view. This guy fishing. Yeah. Here for 2 nights. And we got biscuits. Oat biscuit. Shrewsbury biscuit. I wonder which one Tristan would like. You don't want to be changing hotels like all the time because it upsets your routine. You get like a different bed every night. So small things. And of course you don't have to lump around your suitcase, and you know you can actually kind of half unpack it, I guess. So I'm having some whey protein now. I'm gonna have like maybe 30 or 40 grams. It's only because like the rest of the day, I don't really get much protein in at all. Not that I've got like a specific target as such, but I'm just a little bit conscious of it. Because you know race food is high in carbs and you know things like that. So just have my washing back. It's been efficiently done. I'm quite surprised how fast that was done actually. So I'm gonna peg this out now somewhere, maybe hanging off the TV again, and yeah, it's gonna be tomorrow. I try not to look too far ahead, you know, but when you can break it down in hotels, which is what we've kind of done, we've like said that, well, we're here for 2 nights, and then like we're all the way down in Chester for 1 night, and then we've got another hotel for 2 nights, and then we're in the last hotel in Manchester. So when you break it down like that, it doesn't actually seem like such a big kind of trip. So I'm obviously like the flattest days. Well, not the flattest days. I mean, there are still some really flat days to come, but like today was fairly flat. Yesterday was fairly flat in comparison to the actual overall distance. It was like 170k today. 2,000 meters of climbing, but over that kind of distance, you know, it's not really anything troublesome. Tomorrow could be tasty anyway because we're going down the coast, like directly south. I've not looked at the weather at all, but if it's a crosswind or if it's raining, if it's really a crap day, then you know that could cause carnage. But there was only like a finishing group of like 60 coming to the finish today, which is like half of the bunch. Fairly simple, really, isn't it? Morning everyone. Day, stage 4 today. And yesterday ended up being a bit of a procession. Like I think it was 180 kilometers. I think we had pretty much a headwind all day down the coast towards Newcastle, and then we finished like right in the city centre. But it was pretty steady all day, to be honest. Like grippy roads, just on the pedals the whole time, nothing really happening apart from the fact that breakaway nearly stayed away. But we got caught at a level crossing, which you probably saw on TV. So we got caught on a train track, and there was lots of talk about like if you did go through like the lights, if the lights were on, you'd get disqualified. But of course, like so many people went through that they couldn't really do that, including the race leader.
So what they ended up doing was just like neutralising the race temporarily and then waiting for everybody to get back and kind of restarting it to give the breakaway the same time.
That was housekeeping. They're real early. So we cracked on, we finished. There was a crash with like, I want to say about 7 kilometers to go, that kind of caused a little bit of a split. I was the wrong side of that split, but I managed to get in the convoy, and I was like car 3 and car 2 for ages. I wasn't really having to, because the road was so fast, I wasn't really having to like pedal and give it my all. But I got like really close to the back of the bunch, but because we were doing like 60k an hour for the last like half an hour, I never made it back on. So I lost a bit of time, but the important thing is, James, our GC rider, is still up there. He's well in with a shout of doing a very good ride today, which is the hilliest day of this race by far. And we don't know how it's going to go, to be honest. It's going to be a nice day. There's going to be a lot of wind, kind of changing direction during the day. Sometimes it's going to be coming from the side directly. Sometimes it's going to be coming head on. And it's going to create a little bit of panic. Not going to lie. It's going to cause like, because we know some of the climbs that we've done in races like the Tour Reservoir at the start of this year, we go up that climb, so we know that's exposed, and that comes really early in the race, like the first 30k. So, you know, all hands on deck. It could be like mass panic in that section of road. So we'll just have to see. Obviously, I'm really excited about today anyway, because you know, I just love hills in general, regardless if I'm going well or not. I love hills. So yeah, we'll try and be there. Personally, for me, I'll try and be there for as long as possible for James, even if that means, you know, the last, we hit kind of like the penultimate climb with like 35k to go, and there'll be a very small group to the finish. So as long as James is in that group primarily, it doesn't matter. But obviously I'd like to be there for as long as possible. So say for example you have, you know, front wheel flat with 10, 12k to go, and I was still there, you could have an extremely fast, you know, front wheel change.
Like a Sunday morning.
So Ed, first one in kit this morning, is it a sign?
Yes, fine, I'm ready. Nobody else is.
Tell us about what happened yesterday. How's the race been going for you so far?
It's been going good. I mean, as a team, you know, Jacob in KOM jersey at the minute, James well up there in GC, really strong ride yesterday as well. But yeah, I had a little bit of bad luck yesterday with the mechanical chain jumping off and then getting tangled up in the cranks and stuff, and had to stop at a really narrow section. So just mad chaos. But yeah, James is riding really well.
Don't know if you can see, but this is classic. This is classic what happens at a bike race that you don't see. So it's around 8:30, so there's the hotel. I've just had food and it's 8:30. The mechanics are hard at work down there, and they're going to be hard at work for a long time, I have a feeling. They're putting together our time trial bikes for tomorrow's time trial stage, and man, they do some work, I have to say. Like, I'm going down just to visit them now, just to give them a little bit of company. But yeah, the stuff you don't see, it's unreal the amount of work they do.
We're needing these white socks today. I used to take like a little mini suitcase to a race with me, and now I just take a rucksack. So much easier, I find. Alright, while I'm waiting for my kettle to boil for the coffee. Tell you a little bit about yesterday, which was stage 4. There's not really a queen stage of this race, but yesterday was the hilliest stage of the race, by far, I think. And really, it only came down to like the last 30 kilometers. The bunch just whittled down, and then they hit the final KOM with around 30k to go. It was down a very, very narrow lane, really tight right-hander into the bottom of it, which kind of strung the bunch out, you know, without even trying. I had a mechanical on the descent off that KOM. I don't know if you saw on TV, but it was like it was still a lane, basically really narrow, and my chain slapped and got caught around the crank. And I tried to, like, you know, backpedal slightly and like be really gentle with it, and it wasn't moving. So then I tried being really aggressive with it, and it definitely wasn't moving. So I had to pull over on the descent, and I was like in the chase group at the time. In that situation, when the road is so narrow, you can't get a team car down there fast enough to like service you. So in my situation, like, I was stood on the side of the road for like 4 minutes, and had to wait like as groups came past me, and then finally the car got there, and I was able to get a different bike. Is fully closed at the minute. Here's the 9k to go mark, so I can ride any side of the road. Feels very strange. It's quite windy, as you can probably tell from the noise on this, so I'm not going to talk too much. But yeah, after this it's just 2 days to go. And yesterday was like supposed to be a pretty simple day, which it kind of was at Birkenhead, the WIRRAL stage. Fairly flat, but it had some tasty winds, bit of a crosswind at the end, which made the race a little bit more dynamic. There was a few crashes, which we all thankfully missed. But yeah, our aim is to just get around today. James is obviously going to do a good time, hopefully, and yeah, we're just gonna get ready for the next 2 days. Oh no way, there's a Welsh flag. Wales. Oh, this is some TT circuit. It is actually a little bit technical through some lanes. It's very left and right. There's lots of left and right. But James has ridden away from me with 11k to go on a recce on that big fast downhill. He's on his time trial bike. I'm on the road bike in a minute before switching over. He just rode away. So aerodynamic on that.
Right, starting to hurt at this point, and but it's all over, especially with the way that the Bynea has ridden in towards the finish. The second half has been so solid for him.
Donovan? This is by far the best breakfast. All the hotels. great toppings. I've got some dark chocolate chips. Absolutely winning. But yeah, some hotels, really good beds and really bad breakfast, and others, extremely good breakfast, really bad beds. This one has actually got both. Like really good breakfast, really good bed. What I found at this race, is that I'm getting up like at the same time every morning and I can't get back to sleep. Usually that time is like 6:30, 7:15, which is the time I get up at home. But I'm not going to bed like reasonably early, so I'm just about scraping 8 hours. Which is a good thing and a bad thing, but it means I can come to breakfast early and pace myself. Enjoy the experience. They've got all of their breakfast stuff laid out. That team stuff. So I loved seeing my mates yesterday on the time trial, and Charlie, of course, cheering on not just me but the whole team. And yeah, there's some powerful guys out there on the time trial scene, on the time trial bikes. And my time trial bike arrived yesterday, well, like the day before the time trial, in the night. And don't be surprised at this, like, I know it's like, it's not great, it's not ideal having your bike arrive and having to build the night before. But these things do happen, like, it doesn't always run like clockwork. So my bike arrived and the mechanic built it, God bless you, Brian. And then, yeah, I rode it, and it was just basically set to UCI fit. And I rode it, and I felt so like cramped up, and like my shoulders were fatiguing really quick. It just didn't fit, and because it had an electronic DASSETT, Ultegra, like trying to get used to that in like a short space of time was really difficult. I was coming into a corner, and because my hands were obviously on the outside, my thumb accidentally brushed the button to change down to the small ring, so luckily I noticed before I exited the corner, because I could have ended pear-shaped. But yeah, it was a weird one, you know. It was like, for me, you know, because obviously we've got riders to protect on the team. For me, it was like just getting around, and you know, in the time limit, which there is still obviously in a time trial. And you know, losing 2.5 minutes is fine. But yeah, it's like, it wasn't a good experience. It was a really tough, still a tough effort to do on a bike that's very alien to you. Great news for today, which is the penultimate stage, and then tomorrow's final stage into Manchester, is that the sun is out. Oh my word, the sun is out. It is going to be scorching. Apparently, like, there's like a mini heat wave hitting the UK for like this weekend and going into next week. So it's going to be like 20-25 degrees. I've already like burnt this week already. Like, not put any sun cream on, so I'm going to put sun cream on these last 2 days for sure. Or I'm going to be like a tomato. So hydration is going to be key, obviously. We're going to be back and forth to the car all day for bottles. Keep the boys hydrated. Some nice bikes them Sorel's doing.
Stunning. Unbelievable.
Housekeeping.
Hello. Yes.
Well, it is the last day. I was gonna say Sunday. It's Saturday. It's the last day of the race. Stage 8. Yesterday was hard. Really showed, you know, where the step up in level is between, like, you know, World Tour, Pro Conti level. You know, there's big steps to be taken in terms of, like, the cherry on top, like the fitness, the very last bits, and of course lots of other things add up, like equipment and things like that. But it's yeah, like 7 days in, you really start to feel it. And like it's taught me a lot actually this week. It's taught me a lot about, like, I've done, you know, week-long stage races in the past. I've done, you know, Japan, Korea. I've done Tour of Portugal, which is longer than 7 days, and I've never really had a problem. But of course, like this race, you're racing World Tour teams, and the depth of the field, you know, the depth of fitness, depth of strength of riders in the field is a lot greater. And hats off to the riders at Conti level and Pro Conti level that obviously, you know, well up there and taking it to them. So I'm like, I'm the seeing, like, you know, seeing the stats, like the days haven't been hard, but they've been long, you know, 4.5 hour, 5 hour days, with, you know, a lot of intensity in the first kind of hour, and then nothing for like 2.5 hours, and then a lot of intensity in the last hour again. And just the way this race is as well, because, you know, this year's edition hasn't been hilly really, even though we had a hilly day to Kendal. For me, that was actually the easiest day. You know, the way it was raced, the way it was ridden, although there was people getting dropped and the bunch was getting smaller, to me that was still the easiest day. And you'd probably expect that anyway, you know, from someone like me. But it's been eye-opening, like, and it's great because I've raced, you know, the Tour of Yorkshire, but that only has a couple of World Tour teams in it. But racing the Tour of Britain for the first time, and I'm, you know, fairly old racing it for my first time, you know, 25. It's still a push, you know, like your body will still adapt to it. Like people have told me, like the first time you ride like a Tour of Britain, when you race against 10 World Tour teams or something, you know, the next year you really feel like you come on. And some riders, even the young riders in this race, you know, they've ridden the Tour of Britain twice or once before, so, you know, they've kind of got that expectation, they've got that in their legs, because it's a bit like motor pacing for me, you know, the first hour and the last hour on the flat stage is a bit like motor pacing. For someone my size, like, it's a fairly hard effort I've got to do even on the wheels. But yeah, this has been like mind-blowing this week, like, just to have the opportunity to push myself, the opportunity to see what it's like to race at this level, and to see what I need to do in future, you know, because, you know, I still, like I say, like, big picture, this race has been fairly flat. Maybe in 4 years' time it'll be like a mega hilly edition, and if I'm still doing 4 years, then maybe I can do something in that edition. But it kind of, you know, what goes around comes around type of thing. So I've taken a bit of a beating this week, or rather, you know, the last 2 days in particular, and the time trial as well. But like, it's to me, it's all like still part of a learning process, still part of a learning curve. So I'm pretty tired now though, like, not tired like sleepy tired, even though I've been sleeping well. I'm tired, like leg tired, like, you know, when you like tense your legs, yeah, like that tired. And yesterday, like, I was, you know, when you shake your legs on the bike, like you wobble them from side to side to like shake the muscles, I was actually getting cramp down the inside of my adductors, so like I couldn't actually do that. And I was like, Ooh, I'm getting a bit tired now. So yeah, but it's been good. It's been really good. I've really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the company from the guys as well, the riders. The stuff we've got up to. Sharing with Tristan. It's kept me entertained all week. But yeah, it's been a tough one. This one, the last day, it's not going to be easy either. Usually they finish with a procession around London. I say a procession, it's still a hard stage, but it's relatively short. Well, they used to do it in London. They used to do like laps of circuits around the embankment and things, but there'd be like 2 dead turns. You have to be sprinted out of them all the time. A big long line. That's not going to happen today because it's a point-to-point stage. So it starts like kind of 10 minutes from here, which is just south of Manchester. And it does an anti-clockwise big lap around the outskirts of the city and then cuts in on the far left-hand side. So if you imagine like 9 o'clock on a clock, you come in from there and then finish down a really fast road. So right in the centre. So it'd be pretty spectacular, once in a lifetime thing, to be honest. But the game plan today, like yesterday with the hilly finish, James was well up there. Give it a nudge again. Jake has pretty much sewn up the KOM jersey. Say no more. He's been riding outstanding all week. I don't think you can take that away from him. You know, most of the lads have just ridden really well. You know, nearly all the lads have ridden really well. And the staff have worked super hard this week, particularly Brown, the mechanic, building TT bikes last minute. But yeah, but it's, you know, today it's not over. You know, we've got like you say, like this won't be a procession. It's quite hilly early on, or at least the middle section. Like we're going to be climbing a lot of altitude meters, but the first 20k and the last 20k are pretty flat, so we've only actually got like 120k of climbing, and we're still going to do 2,500 meters of climbing, so it's going to be tough. And then there's a sprint bonus after I think 20 kilometers. The bunch will want to be together for that, I think. So Trenton needs time bonuses because getting beaten by Van der Poel, you know, he's lost time to him again, basically, even though it's a few seconds, but he still gets time bonus on the line. And that's the way the race is going at the minute. It's all coming down to time bonuses because everyone is so close. So we come into this last stage. It's going to be kept together probably for this first sprint. Trenton wants to go for it. If he gets maximum time bonus on that line, then that'll be the first box ticked for him. There is another one, but it's too far away. I think it's 2 more actually, but they're too far away. The break will hopefully go then, otherwise it'll be pretty flipping hard for most of the day. And then yeah, and then we come to the finish. You know, Trenton will want to win, and Van der Poel will have to come like outside the top 3 or 4 or something. He will have to not score any time bonus. So it kind of is coming down to this time bonus thing, which kind of at least makes it a little bit exciting on this last day, but it's going to make it hard, I think. So we'll just have to see what happens. Like, I don't know. For him at the end, and of course Cav, you know, he wants a last chance as well. So Jumbo Visma and Dimension Data are not going to, you know, to ride. So it's all, yeah, there's lots of stuff happening, man. But yeah, let's see at the finish.